So what are we going to talk about today? I think we'll talk about ebooks versus video courses. Which one is better for you? Which one has more advantages? So stay tuned. That's what we're going to chat about. Which one makes you more money? Which one's faster to produce? And which one should you start with first? So let's take a look and get to it. All right, so there's always this debate. Hey, do I start with an ebook? Do I start with a video course? Which one should I do? Hey, Sasha, tell me. Do I go with the ebook? Do I go with the video course? Which one is better for me? Now, I have developed and designed and created a lot of video courses. I've worked on a lot of different books. And with that in mind, I have experience in both. I see the earnings of which one makes me a little bit more, which one makes me a little bit less. So I'll share with you my insight here today. So let's check out which one is easier to make first. Okay, so if I look at ebooks versus video courses and you're just getting started, which one is easier? Which one can you start with and crank out in a weekend? Probably an ebook. You can make an ebook very, very quickly. Simply because you can go ahead and speak it. And when you speak it, it goes down on paper, or in this case, a digital front, just like you can with a cell phone these days. You speak into the phone, types it out for you, and then you go ahead and do your editing, proofreading, and that kind of thing. Now, this is more of a how-to book. It's not necessarily a novel story. It's more of a how-to book that you can just crank out maybe 10 chapters, 12 chapters, and you just go ahead, think of the headlines, think of the subheadlines, boom, 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 speak them out, and then you get yourself an ebook. 25,000 words later, you're all set. Do a cover, good to go. So it's a lot easier to produce an ebook. When you talk about the production value of a course, there's much more involved. There's video involved. Just look at the way that this is set up. We have split screens, we have titles, we have a logo down here. You might need to go and do some rendering. You got to upload it to a video hosting site. You have to go ahead and do much more selling. You have to sell it because the price of video course is usually a lot more, and you need maybe a checkout place to go ahead and do that, your own website. Whereas with an ebook, you could go ahead and just pop it on Amazon and they can do the selling for you. But again, you make a little bit less. So that brings me to my next point, and that is, hey, which one makes you more money? I will tell you from the bat, if you just look at price to price, well, a course right now in 2019 that I typically sell for, and of course everybody's a little bit different, just depends on who you go with, how long the course is, what they believe they're worth, what they believe they can get from it, the affiliates they can get from it. But in either case, let's say a course, maybe a course on Udemy will be a lot cheaper just because they're always running coupons and stuff like that. You might get for $20, whereas a normal book, well, $5. Right? Again, print books are a little bit more, but in general, let's say $20, $50 for a course. If you're just starting out, depending on the topic, and maybe $10 to $15 for a book. Now, if you're looking at a higher tier course, let's say it's a course about making money. It's a course about investing where you can return on your investment is much more compared to, let's say, a cooking course. All of a sudden now that course could range in $300, $500, $900, even $1,500. I don't think you can go much more than about $1,500 or $2,000 for a course, but you know, some people do, and it does work out for them. Anytime you go beyond that $2,000 level, all of a sudden you get into more personal interactions, just the nature of money. You know, not a lot of people have $2,000 to spend on education, and if they do, they want personal attention. So you're getting into a finite market at that point. So I would say, you know, once you get into the $2,000 range, you're looking for a one-on-one personal coaching. So in that case, if you're looking at ebook versus courses, you'll probably make more with courses if you can get the same number of sales. But that's not always the case. Because courses are more expensive, you might get fewer sales when it comes to courses to get the same amount that you would from ebooks where you can sell much more. So hey, if you're mispricing things and your course is too high, you might sell just 1 or 2 copies at $300 and at $600. And now, hey, you're not really making a lot of money. So in that case, it might be smart or smarter to go with the ebook because, hey, your ebook would make much more money. So pricing it is very important. So if your course is not selling at $300, $500, well, maybe you should price it at $97 or $59. And now all of a sudden you can make way more if all of a sudden price was the issue. The price is not always the issue, but There's a lot of other factors that goes into courses, so it makes it much more difficult. So what is it that I like about video courses and what do I not like? Well, number one, I like the fact that it's a higher tier price product. Typically when I write an ebook, it's, you're pricing it $20 or less. It, of course, is a baseline for getting people into your courses, getting people into your coaching programs, getting into your memberships. But the courses all of a sudden start out at a higher price. It's that next level. It's the next tier. And it's a level where many people can still afford it. It's not way out of the price range of, let's say, $500 an hour or $1,000 an hour, which many people or most people cannot afford that, especially if you're looking at multiple sessions. Whereas a course, hey, $59, $79, $299, they feel like, hey, I got it. It's a lot of training, and on a per hour basis that you get normally with a one-on-one, the course is going to be the most bang for your buck. You're also getting a lot more out of it. You get a visual part, you get an auditory part, and you get that one-on-one feeling. Whereas with a book, you might get a few of those, but the visual part, you have to revisualize it. So in that case, books have been downplayed. Even though some books you can get thousands of dollars of value, it's just the nature pricing of the book is much lower. So I do like that they're higher priced. I don't like that the production value of courses takes a lot of time, and sometimes you make a course and it doesn't sell. It just falls down to the ground. It's dirt. But at least then you could go ahead and use it and throw it in as bonuses and freebies. So what is it that I like about ebooks? I like that you can pump them out pretty quickly. And I also like that you can outsource parts of them. So you can outsource much more in ebooks because nobody really knows. Look at some of the famous books that you believe or think are written, but in fact they were written by a ghost writer. And you can do some research on that. Even some presidents that have some books out, they weren't written by them. It's just they used the name on the book. Somebody interviewed them and then they wrote the book for them or on their behalf. And all of a sudden now you have a book that you go ahead and collect and make money from. So you can do this quite a bit when it comes to ebooks, is that you can outsource it. Even what you want to do, if you want to have a specific book in mind that you're thinking about, you could go ahead and plan out all the chapters or the headlines, and somebody can write a book about that, breaking it down for you with your name on it, and now you can sell it to make much more money on it in the future or for residuals. So anyways, that's really what I like about ebooks, is that they're quick, you can outsource them, but the downside, of course, is you make less money. So when we come back to which one should you work on, which one should you create, hey, if you've already made a few ebooks, then by all means, feel free to go after a video course, because it takes your customer to the next stage and that next level. The production is much more difficult. It's tougher. But if you're brand new, just getting started, start with an ebook. Start with a simple book. Don't go, 30,000, 50,000 words like I tried to do in my first book. Instead, go simple. Go 10,000, make it simple. Top 10 tips to blah, blah, blah. 10 easy ways to da-da-da. So make it simple enough to digest, quick enough for you to produce something, so that way you learn from the experience of creation and production and showing how much value you have. After that, you can take that audience, move them to the courses. From the courses, move them to the next higher mid-level courses or high-tier courses. And from those high-tier courses to the coaching programs, memberships, and other things that you have. So that's my point and thought regarding ebooks versus courses and which one you should start with first. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube. And if you're not joining us on YouTube, thank you for listening on the podcast or reading the blog. And if you want to make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter list, join the newsletter list by clicking the link in the description below or picking up one of the freebies that we have or the link right here on video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.